let's do this first. We'll get back to you.
Okay.
The city seems to be in fairly good shape, but as you're looking around and sort of looking at the people, a lot of them have this haggard expression on their face, like stressed and lack of sleep. And you sort of notice that just a lot of people moving in and out of the streets, coming to their houses and going to their place of work. There's not enough smiling. There's not enough joy. It's hard to place, but there's something slightly off with everything that's going on.
What time of day is it?
This is early morning, getting into mid morning. This is the time of day when people are getting up to go to their jobs. Blacksmiths are going to get to the forge. Shipwrights are going to get to the shipbuilding places. Merchants are going to in the stores. All the sort of daily activities are happening. Sun's peeking over. Is already hanging low in the sky, that kind of thing. You guys sort of... Sorry, go ahead.
Do these people need a communist revolution?
We should probably wait on that.
All right. You guys make your way to the bazaar, partially by just remembering where it was from the ship, and partially by following some obvious merchants as they make their way there. And you come across the bazaar. Looking at it, it is very well. It's a market, really. I prefer to use the term bazaar to more match what, at least in my head, matches the Arabic theme. Over here, this is European stuff. Oh my gosh, shut up. Okay. You get to the market and you see a number of stalls and more permanent shops are set up. Some of them have small carts that are displaying some small wares, while others of them have full-on buildings with windows and exorbitant displays in front of them. You see some really exotic ones that look really cool. Ones that have like globes hanging in front of their store, floating in midair, clearly enchanted, which gives you a little bit of sense of just how magical some of these places can be. You see potion stores, scrolls, basic adventuring gear, and you see a number of people moving in and out. You see a lot of sailors especially are here, whether because ships just came in or about to go out, they're here buying various and sundry stuff, and well, you know the rest. As you guys are looking around, sort of seeing the different stuff, what do you guys want to do?
I'm going to try and find a dwarven weaponsmith.
I want to find out if this town is really recognizes nobles of other places.
Okay. I guess we'll let's go down the order just to keep things consistent.
We could roll initiative.
No, I have a social initiative order already.
Okay.
Hey, excuse me. Grawl, let's go with you first. Okay, so you said you're looking for a dwarven weaponsmith. So I guess at this point you guys are going to split up a bit, right? Everyone's going to go look for their own thing.
Duh.
Okay, so Grawl, you sort of wave farewell to your compatriots and you head off into the market looking for specifically a dwarven weaponsmith. Following the sounds of hammers banging on metal, you head off to sort of the left side of the market, and you see a number of blacksmiths and various shops and displays. One of them does seem to be a dwarf.
I woke up and greet him heartily with a firm handshake.
He appreciates it. He appreciates it. I realize I don't want to burn too much time, so I'm going to avoid the role-playing aspect here. Sorry.
Yes. Okay. I'm looking for some big weapons, some strong, powerful weapons I could use. So what do you have?
Okay, he begins to show you his wares. You see mostly standard standard gear. You're looking for like a hammer or something?
Duh.
Okay. He's got standard weapon stuff. Nothing really all that special for you.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, it was a pleasure to meet you. If you ever get into anything, let me know.
He smiles and appreciates the compliment. Your conversation was pleasant for him. Jimmy.
I just want to find out if this town recognizes my noble status.
Okay. How do you want to go about doing that?
I will literally walk up to someone and ask, does this city/town recognize nobles of other areas?
If you're just gonna ask I really got to work better at handling so many players. My apologies. If you just walk up to the regular folk, they're not gonna know. After you do a bunch of investigations, you sort of find out that if you're lucky, they'll have heard of you, and then they'll give you special treatment. But most of the regular folk are not gonna know you from a hole in the wall.
Okay, then I ask if anyone knows of Woodland.
Nothing.
Fucking bullshit. God damn it.
Conrad.
There's nothing I need at the moment. Anything that I think we should do would come later in the day.
Gotcha.
I just want to find a bench somewhere where I can sit for about an hour and a short rest while watching people.
That's easy enough. You look around, you find maybe like a carpenter who has some of his wares displayed in front. You find a place to sit, barrel or chair or bench, whatever. You find something.
I'd like to make an insight check on the people in general.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of what I'd exactly be looking for.
Yeah. If it's inside, you're more talking about reading emotion, so you don't need to say you're looking for a crease in the forehead, right? That just.
All right, that's fine. That's a 9. No.
Okay, so not no. You get information. You just might not get as much information. You might not get as much information as you want. So you sort of look around and try and get a feel for how the general populace is acting. You definitely get this sense that something's a bit off. This just sort of twinge that something's wrong. Not psychic or anything like that, just socially. You feel like there should be a bit more laughter here. There should be a bit more smiling, and there's just not enough of it. Something tells you that it's almost as if they've experienced a national tragedy or something like that. People are just acting a little bit down.
We need to hit up a tavern later. Talk to the barkeep. They always know things.
Okay. Sorry. Let's jump back to Destin and Aiden, because Destin and Aiden, the two of you are back at the shipyards. Time-wise, we just jumped back a little bit. I'm sorry about that. So you guys are back at the shipyards. You're still around the burning building. So the guards, the people are still, some of them are still looking at you with different mixed expressions on their faces. What do you want to do? You weren't here when they discussed the plan. No. Gentlemen, would you care to explain it?
Aiden is covering you, and we asked if you would be willing to go throughout the crowd and kind of gather a feel of what's going on in the town and do bard stuff, talk to people, share stories, that sort of thing. Be a face. And if anybody catches you, you should be able to talk your way out of it. If not, Aiden's got your back.
Okay.
If that's all right with you. If not, you can come with us, and we'll continue on our way. But we'd kind of like to know what's going on.
So what...
You're our only hope, Obi-Wan.
So what Destin will do is he'll be going around person to person, making sure everyone's okay, trying to find out if there's anything wrong with them.
Okay. What's your passive charisma?
Passive, that would be...
Yeah, so that's going to be your... What's your charisma modifier?
+3.
Okay, so that would be 10 plus 3, which is 13. Passive scores are just 10 plus the score.
Okay.
So plus the modifier. Okay. 13. Okay. So you go around and you're suitably charming that most people just like you as soon as you smile at them. Mm-hmm. Whether it's your childish childhood innocence or some other more indefinable creature, you're likable. Just like in real life. Sorry.
Hey.
When you start to talk to people and start to pry a bit to try and get a better feel for what's going on, you get this sense that everyone's a little bit down. Whatever it is that's happened recently, a lot of people are having trouble focusing on their day-to-day tasks. Their minds are elsewhere. There might be something big that happened in their lives that is affecting them.
Okay. Well, in this crowd, do I see anyone that would look like a guard or anything like that, or like anyone who looks like they have some importance in the city?
Aiden has already identified 2 guards who were sort of like crouched down and hiding, pretending not to be guards.
Okay.
When you're going around though, just asking the regular people, anyone you talk to seems to just be a regular person.
Okay. Oh, what to do? What to do?
Aiden, you're watching this all
Yeah.
happen. You're hearing the conversation. What is there anything you want to do while this is happening?
I'm just blending into the crowd, listening, looking out. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You can make a stealth check for me, actually. Just switch and say things.
Okay.
Do I see any of the sailors from the boat we were on?
Yeah, you see them. They are in the crowd, same as everybody else, and they recognize you, and they like you already.
I'm gonna approach them and say, do you guys know of anything happening? Anything big happening here of late?
They all shake their head. They've been away for too long.
Where would I go to find this out? Besides like a tavern?
You're asking them?
Yeah. Where would they recommend?
Hold on. That's not what I meant to do. Okay. All right, you ask, there's like 10 or 12 of the sailors there. You ask around, and one of the sailors says that he knows that there's a bit of a gathering location that he knows about. He sort of like gets down to whispers. He says he knows basically of an illegal gambling operation called the Bone Claws. Okay, they meet in sort of at night, like 11 o'clock. You could get like some really interesting rumors about the city and meet with some real interesting folk if you head over there at around 11 o'clock tonight. He sort of points you in the right direction, although he's not able to give you an exact address or draw it on your map.
Okay.
He knows around where it is, but he's never actually been able to go himself. It seems you have to get in somehow.
Okay. I guess Dustin will just keep going around person to person, seeing if he can learn anything that way. That's what he'll be doing.
You go around, you don't learn anything.
Okay. Then that's all I'll do. For now, at least.
Okay. You guys finish up over there, and you head back to the party. You see at the very least Conrad sitting pretty close to the entrance to the market, and you tell him what you know, specifically that you can tell there's something a little bit off. Everyone seems distracted and pretty unhappy, and you also found out about this secret Bone Claws thing. You guys are all right now back together at the marketplace. I'm going to finish going through each of you one by one just to make sure that there's nothing special you want to do at the market. Then we're going to gather you guys together. Macarios.
Is there any way that I could adjudicate or mediate with the moneylenders in the town? I want to talk to them, see if there's anybody they're having trouble with that I could help with from a legal side.
You can. It'll be a bit of a larger operation, though. It's going to take you a lot of time. We're not talking about you just meeting with them in the market.
I don't actually want to help them. I just want to say that I'm going to and kind of get a feel for who's doing what and who are the money lenders and if anybody needs help, so I can get an idea of where the targets might be for this financial.
Is Jimmy with you?
Infallibilities.
Jimmy is always with you.
Yeah, I'm kind of traveling around with Jimmy because I have a feeling that
you need a translator.
I'd need a translator.
He needs Google Translate.
If I can find people who don't speak it, I could spare Jimmy for a little bit, but for the most part, that will be a limiting factor for me. Yes.
Most people speak common and only common. This is a fact about the world in general. So you go around. You're in the market area, so there are people to talk to about money, because there's buying and selling going on here on a constant basis. But as for finding specific money lenders, you have a bit of trouble. It seems that they tend to only deal with people who have a certain amount of clout with them. People who either have a lot of money, a writ of some sort, maybe a sign of nobility of something, and people just don't really know where to go for that kind of thing if they don't have it themselves. And most of the people at the market are not themselves fabulously wealthy or anything like that. You can go to one of the higher end shops and see if maybe one of them will be able to help you out, but that's going to be a bit more complicated, which is why I'm separating it out.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Basically, you go around, you ask the regular people, they're not able to tell you anything. If you want to ask one of the higher class people, you can, but that's a separate thing. Yaldrum. Right, not here. Okay. Moving on, you guys sort of gather yourselves back together in the market square. Most of what you've been trying to do has not been very successful.
Wait.
He lives.
Oh, okay.
Wait. Hello. Just briefly, just brief thing, and then I'm gonna not be able to talk for like 5 minutes, but and then I'll be back. But do we need to find homestead for the night?
You mean like a
Time being.
tavern or an inn?
Yes. Do we need somebody to sort that out?
Maybe. We can also do that later, though.
Okay.
That's gonna be the best
Here,
place.
otherwise, I'm sitting in an alley.
That's gonna be one of the best ways we have of gauging the general populace, asking questions, figuring out what's going on. People are gonna go to a bar to commiserate.
Yes. I'm just saying, if you'd like to sort it out now, I can go sort it out now. Y'all have social things to do. Getting rooms is not a very social endeavor by comparison.
Let's wait till the group's back together.
Gotcha. I'll just think about the town, see what's what then.
Okay, I'm gonna assume you're gonna stick with the party though, for the most part. Okay.
Sure.
All right, you guys gather back together after an hour or so, maybe, of going about your own thing. Conrad, you've had some time to tinker with a bunch of stuff. The rest of you kind of were unsuccessful in your different endeavors. You gather back together and you realize you have a couple of possibilities open before you for where you want to take this investigation. You could go for your original target, Lord Asterbastrian, and try and find out what the deal with him is. You know that his residence will most likely be in the nobles' quarters. You could also ask about him a little bit on the way. You can also go look at the Firebug's location, like intended targets. You have a couple of them marked on. You have a couple of them from that little map you found, which I can even bring up for you on the map. I'll do that in a second. You could alternatively try and find a watering hole for a bunch of people. Maybe like at lunchtime, a bunch of people will probably go somewhere to eat. There might be a quiet corner that a bunch of people go to. You can try and meet up with some more gossip mongers over there. Alternatively, you can head to the castle itself and see if you can maybe meet up with some nobility there. I guess which one of these four options do you guys think you're more likely to take? What do you want to do, I guess?
The Lord is never going to talk to us.
That's not the point of going to the castle, but is there a way that is the noble section restricted for only nobles? Like, is there like an entrance into the noble quarter that's blocked off by guards? Is what I'm trying to say.
No, it's not. It's a noble section because that's where nobles tend to live, not through any official classification. There are walls there just like everywhere else, but it's not like a gated community or anything like that. That being said, many of the homes themselves are gated off.
If we talk to Astervastrian, we need some sort of inn, something to get his attention. And if we get his attention, there's always the risk that he was in on whatever was going on, and he then decides to target us.
I agree with that.
How would one get recognized as a noble in this city?
Start throwing around a lot of money. It's a good start.
No. There has to be another way. If I could prove I'm nobility in a different town, could I get nobility access in this town?
Well, it sort of depends on what you even mean by nobility accent.
And I feel like if I go up to a noble, he'll have a level of respect for me if the town recognizes me as one.
It's a pretty large city. It's not like you being a noble will immediately be known by everyone in the city.
You'd probably have to do it on a case by case
Individual basis, yeah.
Tearston,
What's up?
that is so loud.
I'm sorry. I had to get a snack because I need a snack.
Yeah, we noticed.
You bled through pretty heavily.
Right.
And I do apologize. I know this is kind of not very
Stop.
directed just yet.
Stop
know.
apologizing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Arda.
Swear to God, you apologize one more time. I'm gonna come over there.
Alright, how's this? Better?
Yes.
Nope, still
mostly.
can hear it. You son of a bitch.
It's fine,
had
don't
us
worry
going
about it.
there for a second.
Okay, so I feel like the noble is going to Astrovastrian is going to be a very dangerous and possibly impossible path for us at the moment.
I was
Is the-
thinking we also should try to not stay. We should try and not go to the marked spots, or
Wait,
at least get caught.
Arda, did you make these mark?
Yes.
Okay, these are
sorry.
the locations. Okay.
Yeah, those are the 4 locations you found marked on the map.
I disagree. I think we might actually want to check them out, see if there's any commonality.
Well, if we get caught there, like we did last time, we might start getting pinned we might start getting pinned on this as well.
Yeah. I mean, there's no reason that they would know who the firebug even is at this point.
Exactly.
Okay, I think that first we need to figure out exactly what's going on, why all these people seem so depressed.
I mean, there's a guy going around lighting everybody on fire. I would be depressed too.
Has he actually struck here? Or did we just find a safe house before?
Obviously.
Well, as far as you can tell, this warehouse was the first indication of the firebug in Asavir.
Yeah, there's no reason that they would even know who or what the firebug is.
Oh.
There's...
That being said, that's easily solvable. One of you pulls over a guy on the side and just says, "Have you ever heard of the
I
firebug?" The guy says, "No." Done.
That works.
I grab a different guy and ask him why he is sad.
The
Why are
guy
you
just-
sad?
The guy just sort of looks at you and says he doesn't know what you're talking about.
You seem sad. Why are you sad?
Sir, if you want some of my donkey dung, you're more than welcome to it. Other than that, I gotta go bring this manure to the field.
Give me 12 pounds.
He asks for 3 copper pieces in exchange.
I give him 3 copper pieces.
Oh my fucking
Right?
god.
He hoists 12 pounds worth of manure into your waiting hands. It plops
Excellent.
down, and
Oh.
immediately the grit starts to sink into your fingertips and onto your shoes.
Would you say
Ooh.
it's like midday now?
Immediately turn and try to decide who gets it in the face. And look across my party members.
I'm gonna approach this guy and say, "Sorry for my friend. We're new here in town.
I
Can you,
hit him.
can you answer me one question?"
Destin gets the manure.
Sure,
on his
I
shoulder.
suppose. Do you want donkey dung also?
No, sir, but thank you.
I place the donkey dung on Destin's shoulder.
I just kind of scoop it off.
Make
Watch
a
it.
reflex save. I'm kidding.
Here you go.
Just watch it splat onto the ground. No, people here seem kind of down. Did something tragic happen recently? We're new here in town, so we're trying to figure out.
Make a persuasion check.
Persuasion.
Your charisma is over 15, by the way, right?
Yeah, it's a 16.
Yeah. Okay.
A 23.
Okay. He kind of looks around a little bit. He's like, "Well, I don't know if you've heard, but there was recently someone died."
I am sorry for your loss.
died?
Was it royalty?
Well, yeah. You see, the Princess Selena was supposed to marry some prince, and I mean, we were all kind of really looking forward to the wedding because, you know, the gods bless the wedding of a noble, especially the king's daughter. But she died in her sleep last month, and it's been really rough for us.
Thank you, sir.
My condolences.
Thank you. Please pray for her soul.
I will.
I will.
It was murder. The butler did it.
Oh.
Alright, if we have a murder mystery, I'm signing out.
All right, sorry guys, we got to go home for the night. Apparently, my adventure's not good enough for Ruben.
Wait,
I'm joking.
hold on.
Okay.
Oh, man. You're welcome.